why I can't. Day. Okay. All right. Y'all just come on in the room. I can tell you all what I'm sipping on while everybody is adjusting and getting here. I have my Folgers 1850 um, coffee mixed with the Folgers Black Silk. And I am using the Love is Blind creamer, which is chocolate and strawberries. Like I said, it tastes like wedding cake. It's really very, very, very good. This time I have you all on all three. So hopefully if we run into any mishaps, I can go to one of the three and fix the problem. I'm learning, you all. I'm learning. I'm learning. I can tell you before a lot of people get in here that um, I have struggled for the past few weeks, uh, but I'm here, and that's the most important thing. Okay, I had a spot on my screen here, and it looked like an emoji, but I was like, I didn't put that emoji there. And I'll start also, I will follow that with thank you, thank you, thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you all 1,000%. If you hear background rumbling, I live very close to Langley Air Force Base, and they do a lot of testing. So I can't stop them from testing. um, I do want to thank my subscribers. I do ask that you share my page. Share, share, share. Please, please, please. And when you come in, make sure you hit those thumbs. When you do subscribe, make sure you hit that bell with the dimples so that you always know when I'm dropping fresh new content. Um, I say every day I am not starting a new project. And then things like this happens. I make myself a little medication basket. My grandson is usually in charge of handing grandma her medications over the weekend. And rather than do it bottle by bottle, I decided to make a little tray for it. These are my 5 typical medications. It's supposed to be 6, but my doctor and I talked about it, and we kind of took myself off of one, which was my blood pressure med, because I drink 4 ounces of grapefruit juice every day. And for those of you who don't know, grapefruit juice is a natural way to keep your blood pressure under control. So we've chosen that option for the past 3 months. It has worked really, really, really well. No side effects, no adverse effects, nothing negative. Yesterday, when I went to the doctor, my blood pressure was what they consider perfect. It was 120 over 70. which is their version of Perfect. It had been running like 160, 116, excuse me, 116 over 63. I think the lowest was like 112 over 58. So it's been doing really, really good. And I'm happy for that. My weight loss, I'm at a standstill. There's a plus in that as well. At least I haven't gained any. And that was one of the criteria for the surgeon, that I don't gain any weight. He said that I had already surpassed the mark of what he typically asks people to do, which he asked them to lose between 10 and 15 pounds. And I lost over 20. So he's grateful about that. I am grateful about that. And the stressor over the past few weeks has been my insurance. Now I can look at the insurance thing two ways. I got my benefit card through my insurance. And my worrying, I forgot to check it Tuesday. And that little voice said, hey, check your benefits card. And I checked it yesterday. And all of my benefits were there. It's like a little extra stipend that the insurance company gives you to help you with things like groceries and bills and things like that. Basically, your utility bills or your rent. It's not a lot, but it is something that helps. Um, and my SNAP benefits don't come until Monday. And I will generally wait until like Wednesday or Thursday before I go. Try to capitalize on that because the grocery store will be full on Monday. And I'm learning that I don't do too well in large crowds of people who don't have like missions. When I go to my poetry events, there can be wall to wall poets, and I'm fine. When I go to my writing gatherings, same thing. There can be authors wall to wall, and I'm fine. But going to a grocery store where you have people who don't care, people who are paid to care and don't, people who are disrespectful and rude, and then I live next door to a Walmart, so out of the thousands of people that you will contact in there in a 1 hour period, you know, you might run across one or two who are actually pleasant. I understand from the worker's perspective that it can be overwhelming on those days when you have a lot of people in there. But at the same time, when you work in a position of customer service, your first goal, your first mindful goal is the customer. Um, and a lot of today's society doesn't respect or even understand that. So I've elected to change my days of going into Walmart. Okay, but I did tell you that I am sipping on my coffee, which is 1850 and Folgers Black Silk. Both of those are two of the strongest Folgers that they have out here. I do 8 ounces of each, and I do approximately 4 ounces of whatever creamer I choose. I have dropped down. I used to do 4 ounces per 8 ounces. So I've dropped down to 2 ounces per 8 ounces. So I've added 4 ounces of Love is Blind, which is a chocolate strawberry blend. Tastes like wedding cake, birthday cake. It's just delicious. Kind of, you can taste the strawberry kind of strong, but not overpowering. The chocolate, it just feels like silky smooth as it's going down your throat. So it's really tasty. I also have today my Goya mango. This is the nectar. So I can drink it straight, but it's very thick and very sweet. So I mix mine with water. I do have my bottled water. Again, I have a half bottle to present to you, but I do have another backup bottle right over on my dresser. And we got a case and a half in the living room. We got a drawer full in the refrigerator. We got a cabinet full above the coffee maker. And we always keep a reserve 6 on the counter. So if somebody comes in and they want to grab a bottle of water, they're welcome. It's right there on the counter. So I showed you my make for yesterday, which was my little medication basket. I did go in and get the number for this week for the luck of the draw. So I have not, and I did that just before I came in here. So I have not done anything with my luck of the draw yet. I do plan to work on that this weekend. I plan to work on that this weekend. One thing I'm going to do today, for those of you who do follow me in the live, is I'm going to show you my 2 T words or phrases, I should say. But I'm also going to put a video out for that. But I'd like to do it here as well in case you don't follow the ASL, and you'll see what it's about. And if you'd like, you can go back and check those videos out. I will also show you what I'm working on today. I'll show you where this idea all began. And I'll show you what it kind of progressed into about 2 o'clock this morning. I can tell you now, I have not been sleeping well. I am. Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Marty? It's so good to see you. I'm excited. I have a celebrity in the room. Marty, I know you from somewhere. I know you from somewhere. And I really feel like it's through my mom. I remember having an all-out conversation with you. And it may be a dream, it may be something that's in the future, but I honestly think, I don't know, but I did send you an email, and I really feel like I know you. And if I do, it is so great to see you. It's so great to see you in here. And if I don't, it's so good to see you and great to see you in here. Okay, so first of all, the ASL. The letter that's focused for today is the letter T. And I said that there were 2 letters or phrases that I was going to show you. You are a celebrity in my heart. Yes, you are. Okay. So it's just putting the thumb between the forefinger and the middle finger. And the first little phrase I'm going to show you is the most exciting. I think everyone needs to know this. You make the letter T and you wiggle your hand. And that simply means, I got to potty. I got to go. I got to tinkle. That's that. You stick that hand up. Hey. That means, hey, we need to make some moves. So that's the first thing that I wanted to show you as far as the letter T. The second thing I want to show you is thank you. You remember the letter B. You're going to open the B hand. You're going to face your mouth, somewhere in the mouth and chin area. You don't have to touch, but you can if you want to. And it's called a directional command. You just wave or open your hand in the direction of the person you want to say thank you to. Thank you. Thank you. If you want to thank the room, thank you. It's okay to use both hands. It's just saying you want to thank the masses. You want to thank more than one. If it's 2 people in front of you, you can say thank you. But if it's like 3 or more, or like an audience, thank you. To spell it, THANK. Different word. I know we haven't learned this one, but stick with me. YOU. Thank you. Thank you. Don't forget facial expressions. Don't forget to mouth the words. You can even say them. Because there are members of the community who are like me. They're hard of hearing. They're not deaf. And sometimes, like me, they go by voice inflections. And you can hear that as opposed to the thank you. But if I'm reading your lips, or if I, know the command right away, then I know you're saying thank you. Okay? So don't forget those things. Facial expressions are very, very, very important. And it is so important to mouth those words. Some people say when you're learning to spell, don't spell because it slows you down. That's not for everybody. You have to kind of figure that out for yourself. I know for me, I spell better as I'm saying the letters because it's like my brain connecting to my hand saying, okay, this comes next. I don't say TH, I say THANK, and I proceed from there. But it's I understand that some people do it differently. And, that's one of the portions of this that you have to figure out on your own, figure out what works best for you. The third one side is turn. Turn. And what we basically want to do is turn our work. Now, you can do work two ways. This basically means your job, your career, your profession. That's if you want to go about it the quick way, turn your work. Or you can do it the artistic way and say turn your work, which is your project. P, art. P, which is the K turn sideways. Art. To spell it out, you have TUR, N. Second word, W. Letter ORK. And don't forget, when you say project, that K turns to the side and becomes a P. So when you say turn work, that P is to the side, it's not up. You're going to hit your hand with the point of the P, not the kickstand, but with the point of the P. And then your art sign, where you just draw a line across your non-dominant hand with your pinky. Marty, I don't know if you knew or not, but it is my mission that each one, that I teach someone. And my goal is to get each one to teach one. Being hard of hearing, and I sustained an injury when I was 6 years old. I was beaten in the head by a bully, and he left me unconscious, and I lost a lot of my hearing. Being that I was already talking, I was in second grade when this happened. So I was already talking. I knew what words sounded like. I knew how to sound out words. But when people talk to me, it often sounds like they're talking to me underwater. So I deal a lot with hearing and understanding voice inflections, or reading lips. Reading lips is the biggest thing. My daughter has some hearing loss, my youngest daughter. My oldest daughter. My oldest daughter is just different. She is what she won't see. But I want more people to be involved. I would love for this to become a universal language because it helps so much when you run into people whose language you don't understand. But they understand thank you. They understand yes. They understand no. So it's if we could just bring everybody, communication is the key. The ability to communicate, I think, would solve so many world problems that we have. I think misunderstanding is the biggest thing that puts us in a lot of trouble. I just think we need to communicate better. If we could all get on one page, you don't have to have a dialect. You don't have to worry about um, accents or southern drawls, or you don't have to worry about any of that with sign language. You just do it. You just do it. So, like I said, I'm going to put out the individualized video. I'm going to put out the individual video for the letter as well. But I wanted to show it in here, like I said, in case someone here has not seen the ASL videos, and what you have to look forward to. Every now and then I drop little quizzes. They're not for me, they're for you to see how far you've gone, what you may need to brush up on, and even as far as learning finger spelling. Um, and it may be able to promote you to go in. Taught my grandson very basic signs. He was a baby before he started talking. Thank you so much. I started teaching my grandkids. My granddaughter, um, my granddaughter made me want to stop, and it wasn't her fault. It wasn't her fault. I started teaching her right away, and when she was 6 months old, she could sign her alphabets. 6 months. She could speak words. And then we noticed she started regressing. And it kind of made me feel like I was doing something wrong. And then we learned that she was level 2 autistic. I think the biggest thing was she started going back to baby babble. And at first I thought that someone else in the household was tearing apart everything that I was doing. And I went at the time I was working. I was the front desk clerk at Courtyard, and I took one of my little mini vacations just to get my mind clear. And I came back early, and in walking in the house, I saw my mom and my daughter working with her sign language, and I was like, so it's not me. They are working with her, and that made me feel good that they were carrying it on. So it helped me to continue. By the time my grandson came along, he was born in an odd month. So even though he was ready for pre-K, his age said that he wasn't. So I, vowed with my children that I would homeschool him his first year. And everything that I taught him in sign language and Spanish as well. We would take little field trips. We'd go to pet stores and grocery stores, little corner stores, point out different things. And I would sign it to him, and he'd have to tell me what it was in Spanish or in English if it was something that we had not covered in Spanish yet. Or vice versa, I would say it in Spanish, and he'd have to show me in sign language. But then we found out with him, bless his heart, he's a little child prodigy. This little ninja, he is 7 years old, and he reads on an 8th grade level. His math skills are that of a 6th grader. And I don't know where we are as far as getting him tested. I speak a little Spanish. I do. Mine came to me. I took 2 years of Spanish in high school. Uh, and then in working in customer service, most of the places I worked, a large part of our shopping community was Hispanic. And I wanted to know how to communicate with them. One place that I worked, 7-Eleven, saw a great increase in customers because they worked in that area, but they would go other places because no one understood what they were saying. And it's so simple. Ask, just ask. Just ask, How do you say bag? How do you say receipt? You start there, quiero la bolsa, quiero el recibo, and you ask them, you want a bag? You want your receipt? You tell them, have a good day. Tengo buen día. And when they hear that, it just gives them a sense of comfort, a sense of feeling welcome. And they come back. And then you ask the next thing and the next thing, and you practice, when you have a line full in your store, you ask that first person, and then you can practice on the rest of them. And when you're going home that day, you remember what you learned. And, when you hear those phrases in songs, you say it in Spanish, or when someone that you're having a conversation with at home says a certain phrase, you like, and you tell them that phrase, and it kind of sticks with you as you continue to do it. And it because a lot of the United States now is Hispanic. We have a lot of Hispanics here. And rather than making them feel like we feel when we go into nail salons, why not? I had even started learning a little Thai for my nail salon. And because I didn't want to feel uncomfortable going in there. I wanted to get my nails done, but I was tired of leaving feeling like, what were they saying about me? What was so funny? I don't want to feel that level of discomfort. So I try to make people around me comfortable as well. That's why I do what I do. So, to show you what I picked up at 2 something this morning, I think I showed you all this before, part of it anyway. I dreamed this vision of a poncho. And I'll show you one panel first. It's kind of like a stair step, but that's not how it's going to end up being. It's going to end up being something like this. This is just a small portion of it. And where it attaches, it's going to leave these looking like angel wings. I thought about a shawl, but I kept leaning towards a poncho. I love you, Marty. I understand. And thank you so much. Thank you. So I made the smaller one. I wanted to do this for my granddaughter's Moana. She's the bigger of the doll babies that she has. Not Barbie style. I'm talking about a life. I think Moana stands about 4 feet tall, if I'm not mistaken. So I wanted to make this to fit her. But when I got to these 4, I kind of got stuck. And I was like, maybe it's because I'm making this for a doll baby and not on full scale. So I can't really see what I need. So last night or this morning, I started on a more scaled one. I haven't done any measurements right now. I just know that I am using the .9 hook, which is the 9.0, I should say, sorry. The 9.0 Susan Bates M hook. I am falling in love with these hooks. I didn't get the 3, but I absolutely love this handle. And what I'm doing is 4 rows, and then I decrease on the 5th row coming back. And that's 5, 6, 7, 8, decrease, 9, 10, 11. I am working on row 12 now, and I'm doing all of this in half double crochet. But what I do on my decrease rows, I decrease by 3 stitches. So I started with 45 stitches across. My next set of 4 rows went down to 42. I am currently working on the last of the 39 across. This is row 12. And right now, like I said, I'm making this to scale for an adult. I may have to go back and change all of this, or maybe someone can pick it up and tell me what I need to do differently. All of that's good and fine. I am learning that as a designer, there is a lot of frogging. There is a whole lot of frogging that goes on. Okay, so these are my first 12 rows. It's nice and airy. I tend to make things that way because I get hot very quickly. I choose cold weather over hot weather because you can always put something on. You can always get a blanket, a jacket, a sweater, something, and put it on. But once you get down to your skin, when it gets hot, there's nowhere else to go. Some people say sit in a cool tub of water, but when you get out, you're still facing the heat, and you still can't go below the skin without hurting yourself. So yeah, I choose cold over heat any day. But my situation is, whereas the temperature in the house has to stay between 72 and 74, that's a little warm for me. That's a lot warm for me. But I have a daughter and a granddaughter who are anemic, and they need that. So I am currently looking for a fan. I have a floor fan that is 16 years old. And whenever I turn it off every now and then. But whenever I turn it off, I pray that it restarts. Yeah, it's at the point where it's doing that. I'm like, there it goes. So yeah, I think it's time. And I want an oscillating fan, not just one that will stay on it. The fan that right now I have that one so that it stays on because it doesn't oscillate the one. One reason I need an oscillating fan is because I do need that air on me, but I don't need it blowing directly in my face, like for the whole time, because that causes my throat to dry out. Like in the middle of the night coughing, you know, I'm a snorer. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't chain one and turn my work. I just turn and go right back into my half double crochet. And also, for those of you who don't remember, I shout out video stars every week. I pick one individual and I go through and pick out a playlist of theirs or their videos if they don't have a playlist. And for that week, I'll watch that. I dedicate at least 4 hours a day into that person's videos. And It helps with their viewing hours, and it helps with their views. And my person for this week is Lori's Stories and Crochet. Lori's Stories and Crochet. I can put it in here. And you can see who it is. And that is my video start for this week. Yeah, the quotation mark is supposed to be an apostrophe. But I was typing with one hand. Today I did take the time to pull out, I don't know if you can see it, I pulled out all of my luck of the draw items. I have 2 over there, but the other 7 are here behind me. Yes, I have 9 luck of the draw items. I think I almost kind of burnt myself out with them, which is why I didn't continue. I did kind of burn myself out with my Dollar Stable blanket, so I just folded it up and put it in the closet for right now. It's not there permanently, but at least it's not where I can see it and get further disgusted with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I know that it's going to be absolutely beautiful when I take it out and go back to work on it. I know a lot of people tend to shy away from large projects in the summertime. This is usually the time of year my crocheting picks up. I usually start right around March Madness. And I've been pretty bummed out over the past 5 years because I don't have cable. I don't have regular TV. And I don't have the channels where I can get the sports that I like free. So I'm missing my football, number 1, my March Madness, number 2, and my tennis, number 3. And it's like, bummer. I really, I want to be able to watch those things, but I just have to use my hand dandy phone and keep up with scores and stuff that way. I love watching the road to the Final Four. I do, from the qualifying all the way up to the championship. I love making my own brackets and comparing them. I always make like 4 brackets. I make one sensible, I call it sensible, and that's comparing the win and loss records and who will come out to be victorious. And then I have my Cinderella list where I make the predictions of those schools that just barely made it, making their way further or possibly winning. And then there are two in between that I strictly developed a pattern for and utilize that pattern to pick my winners. But if I can't watch the games, I can't do it. So whoop, there it is. As you can see, the rows work up really quickly. I just completed row 16. And moving up to 17. Oh boy. $31, $32, and $33 at all. I do know that I'm going to need more than 4 panels. So I'm going to try 8 panels at first to see if that will get me where I'm trying to get to. If not, I will increase it. I don't see it being more than 12 panels. And like I said, I started this it was right around 2:30 this morning. And just crocheted up those first 12 rows. And sitting here today, only picking it up a few minutes ago, I am 6 rows in for today so far. Not sure what the total color scheme is that I'm going to be working with. I do know that I think at least that I can get maybe 4 panels out of this red, which is the mainstay red. If you all haven't figured out now, I'm a bit of a geek. And I have weird questions. So I tend to look up a lot of weird stuff. I don't read as much as I would like to. Um, my daughter is getting me set up for audiobooks. But my question that I've come up with is for authors like Peterson. Now, allegedly, in real life, Peterson killed his wife. He unalived his wife. Um, and of course he denies it and says, what good would it do him to do something like that? Well, excuse me, from one writer to the next. Denise! Hey, sis! But from one writer to the next, look at everything he's gone through since all of this started. He's got a lot of content. He has gathered a lot of writing material. I wonder sometimes if people like that allow themselves to get so deep into what they're doing that they try to make reality out of fiction. If they turn that fiction into reality so that it will give them a different edge of writing or creating. Mhm. When they show those stories and stuff on TV, they only give the one side. Of course, they can't get the other person's side, but excuse me, from the outside looking in, their whole family just seemed too well kept to have something like that happen. I made a boo boo. 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 Or did I? Nope, I was right. Please, yes. Thank you, Denise. How are you today? How are you feeling? I think I have to get myself another ring light. My daughter got me this one for my birthday. And not being accustomed to it being in my room, the grandkids, they don't know. They come in the room and they just be trying to get to grandma. I think they've tripped over it so much that any other setting, it blinks, it flashes like a strobe light. Unless I put it in the colors. Now, if I turn the colors on, I don't have that problem. See? We can do colors. We got the dual colors. Then we get the tricolors. And then we get the whole rainbow. Okay. Eventually, we have to switch it back to white. Maybe one night when I do a dance tutorial. That was funny. Oh, Lord have mercy. Don't laugh too hard. I used to dance. Ooh. Okay, you guys, I'm looking at the fact that we are just about 56 minutes in. Even though I had just a little bit of problems coming in today, it was nothing like what I've been having. And I'm grateful for that. I'm learning. It's taking a little time, but I am learning. I am grateful, more than grateful, for everybody who has shown up and for all of you who hop in on the repeat. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget to leave your thumbs. And we will catch each other again really, really, really soon. I hope. Don't forget, I always beg of you to exercise self love. Please, please, please. Love on yourself, babies. Self love is the greatest love of all. And know that I love you. And remember to be bold, be brave, be of love, and behave. So until I see each of you again on these YouTube streets, I'm glad, Denise. I'm glad. Don't forget that I love you, and I mean that from the sincerest part of me. And peace.